It is me, Shirek. I'm la buena. Hello, how are you? Just wanted to get on here. I have some things that I wanted to talk about today. I am going to start doing some channelings about relationships and talking about like coming into union together, and just kind of I'm just gonna see about that kind of an angle, because a lot of times in my videos I talk about the spiritual journey being solo, like you're just by yourself trying to figure out your stuff. And so I decided that it might be a good idea to talk more about relationship stuff. So I did some channeling. I channeled the Pleiadians. I tried to ask some good questions, but I mean, maybe this is what needs to be said. So I'm gonna read it quick. Well, not quick, but anyways, I'm gonna read this. So hopefully you're doing well. So I'm just gonna read this, and then I got some other things that I wanted to talk about. So they said, yes, we are the Pleiadian Council of Light, and we want to share our views in regards to relationships in our hearts. We are sovereign beings, so as we are entering a union, we can share our hearts with whom we are choosing in each moment. As you are aware, there are many different expressions of what it means to be in a relationship. And so the one you have asked us about is of which is divine union. And when you are in divine union with your counterpart, you are in a state of unified community, where you both share very similar expressions and you both have very similar life paths. In your union, Christine, here on earth, you chose to be in a relationship because you found it difficult to be by yourself in your previous lives. And when you determined that your soul's purpose was to be in a relationship, you then found it difficult to be in one because you haven't been in a harmonious one. So I basically don't know what it feels like. And so then they said, so as we prepared to speak to you, your higher self wants to explain in more detail about this new way of being, as you are in union with another soul who has also chosen to be in union with you. So please proceed with your higher self at this time. Okay. Yes, Christine, I am your higher self in the sixth dimension. I am connecting with you in your heart because I feel that your heart has something to express in a more deep way in regards to its truth about being in a relationship. Okay. Yes, I am your heart, and I am in divine union with my soul's purpose. As I have not met my twin flame in physical yet, he is sharing his heart with me in this moment and is stating that he wants to share his heart with me, and in his truth, he is choosing me. So I am aware of the fact that each moment that I am spending with his heart, he is choosing me in mine. And so I wasn't trying to make this stuff about me. I was trying to I guess I gotta think about what the real question is, what do people need to know? So I got a little bit of okay, well, this isn't exactly what I was looking for. Can what is the original blueprint of the divine union relationship? And so then they said, yes, we are the Pleiadians, and what we will share with your heart is that you have an expression that is deep within your soul that is already occurring. So as you are aware, this union is taking place in your heart space. And so then I was like, okay, that's good to know. But I'm looking for the more mechanical, what does it mean when you're physically in the same place as the person? What kind of there's a definition of traditional relationships where the woman stays at home, she's the housewife, or what is the dynamic, or what are you supposed to be doing here, and so that's kind of what I asked after that. And then so then the Pleiadians talked again, and they said, yes, yes, we will share our hearts in this moment of perspective. We are the Pleiadians, and the question is, what will it be like when the two humans come into fruition in a harmonious relationship? There will be many ins and outs and ups and downs, but truly, when they are in harmony at a soul level, the souls create the energy for the humans to express deep within. And when this occurs, there is a deep sense of ease throughout the relationship, and the two become one much more easily than you would expect. In your previous relationships, there has been strife and turmoil, dis-ease and hate. No matter what you tried to do, you could not stop these kinds of feelings from deep within your soul. And now that you have changed your heart frequency, you are no longer vibrating at these levels. So since you have moved your heart into a much higher vibration, the heart will choose a much more ease and peaceful path for itself. Deep within your soul knows that you and your divine counterpart will last a lifetime, and no one will change that except the two of you if you two wish. There are many men and women in this earthly realm who have chosen not to come into union with their counterpart due to their own lack of expression and believing in that it is a possibility. But there are others who have formed quite a strong and inherently peaceful, harmonious union that is unbreakable. So what we can say to you is, during your relationship that is destined to be in your human form's life, you will see this truly magnificent, harmonious relationship where nothing can stop you from doing what you came here to do, Christine. We love you oh so very much, and we truly appreciate you being in our hearts so much that we have asked your truth to allow us to stay while you are participating in this relationship so that we may be of assistance in any time frame should you need it. Christine, we love you so very much. We are your Pleiadian brothers and sisters. And we cherish you just as much as you cherish us. Peace is your choice, Christine. We will also let me do my video now. Okay, so I get a little emotional because I've been through a lot of things, and it's been really hard. And so this kind of like leads me into the next thing that I wanted to talk about that is related to this. So I think Friday. So I got enough sleep on Thursday night. Oh man, I did this thing. Okay, here we go. It starts. So, what was it? Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. So I got this harebrained idea that I was going to fast, and I'm like, well, how can I fast? It's kind of hard to just be like drop kick yourself into fasting. You know, it's like 1 minute you're eating and the next you're not. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to like just totally drop myself into that. So I started talking at me and my inner child, my little lady, we started working out some things that I could do. And I got the message. Oh, there was a video that I saw that the girl was like, look, you need silence. Just silence. Your brain is like all over the place. The music that you're listening to, the stuff that you're consuming, you're just consuming. And she was right. I was like, wow, I can relate. So I took that to my heart and I said, how can I change my consuming? Because I'm just consuming. Like I just basically have been trying to run away from all this stuff and trying to distract myself from the horrible things that I've experienced. So I was just, forget it. But anyway, so me and my little lady, we had a conversation, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do fruit smoothies for 24 hours. I got enough stuff in the fridge to do smoothie stuff. So I called it smoothing. I smoothed for 48 hours. It was awesome. It was the best. The first day I was just like, oh God, I'm hungry. I should go eat. I'm like, started thinking of all these solid foods that I could put in my belly. And then I was like, no, I got to do it. I got to do this. The girl said that I need silence. I need silence. So I was like, no more consuming. I don't even like the word consuming. So anyway, and then I was like, man, I'm in my phone all the time. And then I was like, how am I going to work without background noise? I got something playing all the time. And I was like, I'm going to turn my phone off. I'm not going to check YouTube. Even, I don't know if anyone noticed this or not, but YouTube has a frequency. It's annoying. It really is. And so, anyway, so I just turned my phone off and I only did a few things on it, but I pretty much stayed off my phone. I stayed off my phone for 2 whole days. I'm still actually staying off my phone because I need longer. But I smoothed for a couple of days. It was awesome. And then last night, I was like, man, I'm like running out of. I'm trying to stay on this like light, I guess you could say, like food, because I feel like I need to let the chunk get down a little bit instead of like where I'm going. I'm not trying to go there anymore. Like let's shift gears and go to the left instead of the right. Maybe that's not exactly the right way to say that, but either way. So anyway, so I got off my phone. I got off with solid food, just had a bunch of fruit. It actually made me feel really good to just fruit it up. Fruit actually makes you feel good. And then last night I went to the grocery store, Piggly Wiggly, because I started thinking about, like, for some reason I just crave, like, tomato sometimes. And so I was like, I really love marinara. So I started thinking about, like, instead of making spaghetti and having pasta, I was like, what could I put in marinara? I just started thinking of all these veggies that I could put in marinara, and it's very similar to like smoothing. So I was like, maybe I could veggie it up a little bit. So I went to the store and I bought peppers and cilantro and onion, mushrooms, cucumber, tomato, and marinara sauce, Bertolli. I don't really like Bertolli. I thought I did, but it's too sweet. I like it garlic and salt. That's kind of the thing. But anyways, so okay, the cat. So anyway, so I put that all together. Oh man, it's so good. It's so good. And I put garlic granules and cayenne together. Oh man, that's delicious. I put it on everything. Anyways, I put that in there and I put some salt in there and like I just made it and it's really, really awesome. Really good. I bought some bread. I was gonna make garlic bread, but then that didn't happen. Sometimes I just need some bread. Every once in a while I don't really eat it that much, but anyway, the getting off of that. So anyways, I've been staying off of my phone. I've been not having electronics, and I have been watching this cartoon. It's called Avatar. No. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. I'm gonna go get it. So hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. So this is the cartoon. So this is basically, so what this kid does, he's like 12. He's called the Avatar, and he's mastering air bending, water bending, earth bending, and fire bending. And so I started to get into that mentality of like earth, fire, wind, water kind of stuff, because I don't know if people really talk about it. It's like, it's kind of like in the tribes, like they had the north, south, east, west, and like there's some other stuff too that I don't really know about because I haven't been too privy to things like that. The only time that I got to know that stuff was when I was listening to a couple that I don't listen to anymore. But anyway, um, so as I was sitting, there was a being, a spirit, I guess, that came to me and said that I needed. This was on Friday, and I was already fasting, smoothing from my phone and other foods. And so basically, I got a message that I should go out into nature and like be at peace instead of what I was doing. So I was like, okay, this is a great idea. So basically, like the Avatar movie or videos series of a whole bunch of clips or cartoons or whatever, of like they're basically on a journey. I don't. It's kind of hard to explain without going into a whole bunch of details, and I don't want my video to be like 100 years long, just to tell somebody something. But anyways, you should watch that. It's really good. I saw the movie. My mom had the movie Avatar, the air. I think it was called Airbender, and my sister was like, you should really watch the series. That's what started it. And so I was like, okay, I guess I could watch that. So anyway, so I've been watching that. It's really good. I'm learning a lot about the elements that I didn't realize. And there's a lot of things about the elements that people don't talk about. So anyway, or should I say that we're not allowed to talk about due to censorship and whatever. Anyway, so I got this message that I was supposed to, try to find somewhere to go outside into nature and basically like get comfortable and like meditate or whatever. So I decided to do that today. So I went out there, and this is in relation to what they channeled. So I was sitting out there, and I went out to this park. It's a really awesome park. It's got like two little ponds, and like there's like a little windy thing, and then there's like a huge hill. Actually, I have a picture that I could show. It's really awesome. I'm gonna try to get out there more often because I need to get out of the house. Hopefully this will. So in the back, oh, you can't really see it, but anyways, that bump there, that's a hill, and I went on top of the hill. So maybe I'll post these pictures in my Telegram. But anyways, so I went up there on top of the hill, and there was a spot that I was supposed to sit at. And then I saw a tick there, and then I was like, man, because it's in the trees. So, But anyways, I started walking around, looking around. I got to the top, and I was like, I got stopped. You know what I mean? Like, that was the place. So I decided to look around a little bit further just to see if that was it. And so that was really actually the spot. And then I saw a tick, and then I was like, okay, no. But then I'm like, no, I have to conquer my fears, so I have to do this. So I decided to sit down anyways. And it wasn't that bad. I had to I had to flick the tick off like 3 times. But I mean, after the 3rd time, I was kind of like, okay, I can't be out here anymore because they're just going to come at me. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, what is this like? I sat there cross-legged, sitting up with my hands. I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but I felt like I should do it this way. So that's how I did it, on my knees and just sitting there. And then when I started to like I was channeling, so like the master person that was talking to me told me to become one with the trees. And so I was like, okay, well, my cat's running around. So I was like sitting there and like, so I was like not paying attention to anything else, but like with my eyes closed, and I was like sitting listening to the trees like swaying, and it was windy, and like, so I was, at first I was really nervous because I'm like, first of all, I saw the tick, and then I'm like, what other kind of bugs are gonna get on me? And then is it gonna come back? And so, um, but after a while, I just started to like, become comfortable and like relaxed, and it was really cool. And then, like, I was able to see the difference between like the absolute peace that was out there, where there was no people, no electronics, no nothing, and just trees, wind, the sun, and me, and the grass, and the bugs, and the birds. And so I noticed that there was so I've anyway, sorry. Okay, so identified as like a samurai, like that's in my energy. I don't totally know where it comes from, but I just know that I feel that energy. So, and when I first started doing channelings, I would do like movements of like, I feel like I have that in there somewhere. I just don't know. And actually, when I first got up there, I, I started to do those movements, and then I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to do movements. I want to just sit and be at one with like everything. So, I decided to, I noticed that there was like, fighting. It was the energy of fighting. So I'm like, how am I supposed to get calm if like this is like fighting? And so I was like, I kind of like felt it to this energy, and I'm like, look, I don't want to fight. I'm not in fighting. We're not fighting right now. I don't have a reason to be fighting right now. And so then like I was like, can you sit like me? I just felt it, thought it, and then all of a sudden it like sat in front of me. And then all of a sudden it went into my heart and down into my body. And so I was like, okay, so that was a part of myself that was just like in fight mode, basically. And so once that happened, then I saw my little lady kicking and fighting still. And I was like, can you calm down? Can you just be still and be calm? And then all of a sudden she got calm. And then that's when I was able to like really feel like where I was and the difference between how I've been living my life and what it's like to not live that way, not consume, be in silence, even though it wasn't silence. It was really nice. But after the third tick crawled on my knee, my left knee, I don't even know how it got up there, because like, how did I not feel it until it got to my knee? But anyways, I stood up and I was like, man, I'm like, I know that this is a part of my energy. There's a reason for this, that this is happening. I know that ticks just like come out of nowhere and do whatever they want and attach to you and all the things. So, but anyways, I just kind of associated it like, I have felt this way before, because like every time I would get into a status of like concentration where I was like meditating or like imagining or seeing things or like feeling things or like becoming one with the trees and the swaying of the wind, and like noticing how the trees are really solid at the base, and then they branch out and the branches just kind of like sway back and forth. I was like, I've noticed that when like my root chakra doesn't feel safe a lot. So like that's where your support and your safety is. So now my heart says I'm safe. So I am safe. So like I just was like, okay, so if I'm supposed to become one with the trees, then the base of the tree is like a solid, it doesn't move. So I was like, okay, so I need to have like more solid, stability in my root chakra and my sacral and my solar plexus. And so like my solar plexus is kind of like if you sit and sway back and forth, you don't really move your butt. That's where your root chakra is. You sway back and forth from like your waist up. Your hips stay where they are, and so does your sacral. So anyways, I was just kind of like, huh. So then, like, I just started to, like, allow myself to sway with the wind and become one with the wind. But it was too much having the tick keep coming at me. So I stood up and then I talked to this being that was there that was talking to me, the master. Because the master that talked to me, I think it's weird to say the word master, but either way, the person told me that I'm a master now, and so I was like, okay, well, that's interesting because I don't know if I'm a master just yet, but anyway, so I stood up and I was like, I just decided to just talk about something that happened a lot at in my previous relationship. And so this is related to that. Finally, I'm here. So basically in that relationship, that person would do a lot of things behind my back. And like, it really hurt a lot because I took it personally. Like, he just didn't care about me. He didn't think about me. He didn't want anything. Like, in his mind, he didn't care about the truth about how I would feel about what he was doing. It didn't matter to him. What mattered to him was him and doing what he wanted and what he loved to do. And so, like, my feelings was not even considered at all. Like, at all, even though it was my apartment, my couch, my stuff, and he was bringing people to my place. So, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I talked about that, and like, it's just kind of like, another experience I had was when I lived in that house, the person that I lived with thought that it was okay to go in my room when I wasn't there. If I'm not there, like, what? So anyway, so I just kind of looked at it like that. Like, the tick is being like this being person, like, representation of, like, the coming at me when I'm not there, when I'm not looking, when I'm not paying attention, when I wouldn't know about it. And so I was like, okay, so I need to let this go because I'm not going to live this for the rest of my life. I do not want to have this kind of an expression, going into new relationships. Just not going to do it. So anyways, I listened to what the person had to say, and he told me that, so basically how I understood it is that my ex's soul and my soul got together, and my soul was like, hey, I need you to teach me about the dark stuff and about this particular things. And he was like, oh, wow, really? You want me to teach you that stuff? Sure, I can teach you all that stuff. And then and my soul was like, yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So we're going to try to do all this stuff together. And he said, yeah, for sure. I'll do everything to teach you this thing. And so, it's really hard sometimes to accept that it's like, I thought about it. Like, I thought about it a lot actually after I went through that. But basically, it's like how I interpreted all of that is that his expression is self love, not service to others, not love of other people, is love for himself. 100% love of himself. So in those moments that he only loved himself, he was teaching me how to love myself, but also, like, about the darkness and how it's only service to self. It's only love of self. It's only love of this, love of that, particular things. And like, me being the light, this is the dark, the yin and the yang, the light. I'm just like, well, this doesn't make any sense to me because you're not being the loving ways that I believe that love is. love is unconditional, love is this, love is that, love is that. So in the moments that we were teaching each other back and forth, he was teaching me the kind of loves that the dark has, and I was teaching him the kind of loves that the light has. And we were both learning about each other. So like in those particular times, like it's kind of like what's happening in the world right now. So for thousands of years the dark has been doing whatever it's wanted, and it's been teaching the people have been learning, or whoever the souls have been learning from the dark, and now they're going to learn from the light. But it doesn't really matter if it's like all together or like switching the guard or switching the roles. We're still learning and teaching each other. It doesn't even matter, because the light is learning from the dark and the dark is learning from the light, and the light is the student and the teacher, and the dark is the student and the teacher. So no matter what, it's still the yin and the yang 100% all over. You can't even get away from it. And I have been coming into this yin and yang stuff, and like, sure, I could read a book about it, I could watch a video about it, I could listen to somebody else talk about it or whatever, their experience. But I was like, you know what, I don't want to read about it. I don't want to learn about it from somewhere else. I want to learn about the yin and the yang on my own. Like, I want to have my own experiences and like understand it in the ways that I understand things and interpret it the way I interpret it. So I feel like I learned a lot today. It was really awesome. And I got a tan too. I don't know if you can see that, a little bit tan. Oh, and so the other thing that I did, hopefully that makes sense, that like you can understand that, man, when you look at it from a higher perspective of like at a soul level, it's like kind of hard to fathom. You know what I'm saying? Like you're this physical person, and you can hear me, you can see me, you can touch you know what I mean? Like this physical. And then there's like this other aspect that is like looking down on you like a moon. I'm just kidding, not the moon. But it's like looking down on you, and it's like, yeah, you know what? I can see all this stuff, and you really need to learn this. And so I really did learn a lot. I did. I learned a lot from my ex. Learned a lot, but I'm not, like what the Pleiadian said, like my heart is in a different place right now. Like I'm not going to be in that particular energy anymore. And that was another thing that I learned, is like, the heart frequency, like whatever tune your heart plays is whatever you're going to attract. So like if you're playing peace or harmony or safe or love, then you're going to attract those things. And I know that they say that all the time, but when I was going through all those dark things, I couldn't figure out how I was supposed to have, like, why are these things around me? I didn't realize that my heart, because I lived there or whatever, has like started playing those frequencies and those tunes and got all kinds of crazy. I'm just like, wow. But anyway, I'm pulling out of that, and I'm really glad. Like I feel like I'm getting rid of all of these things, and I'm moving my heart into a higher vibration, and it's really, really amazing, and I really, really love it, and I'm really, really happy. So anyway, so I just remembered something. In this, so his name is Aang. And so Aang is trying to learn the 4 elements and how to move them, basically. With like, I don't know, I think it's like telekinesis or something like that. But anyway, so he can airbend, which is like he can move air and throw air and like make air go in whichever way he wants it to go in. And so along their journey, they have had an expression, fire, the fire element. They call it the Fire Nation. And the Fire Nation has been after him the entire time. The whole like series. I've only watched a couple of CDs, but it's like, I think there's like eight shows. They're like 20 some minutes long. But anyways, on each disc. So I'm only on the second disc, so I'm still in the throes of learning stuff. But anyways, in the last cartoon that I saw, he so since the Fire Nation is like after him, they depicted fire as like it's a bad thing, and fire when it's out of control just consumes everything. And I'm the fire element, so I'm just like I've been consuming everything. Not everything, but you know, it seems like it. But anyway, so he finally gets to like this village where my cat's over there. Kiki. So he gets to this village where there's I don't know if you call him a guru or a guy who's like a master. And he's like, this is my only chance. If we don't, ask him to help me to teach me how to firebend, I might not be able to, learn how to do it. So he goes to the person, and the guy tells him that he's not ready, that he won't teach him, and he doesn't have any discipline. And so that really kind of hit me, because I was like, man, I've been thinking a lot about discipline. There's like discipline where you spank your kid, or there's discipline where you are disciplined. Like, for example, instead of like consuming everything, you're disciplined where you don't consume everything. You're disciplined where you watch what you intake, what you're watching, you discipline yourself. And like, I like that. I haven't been down that road a whole lot. So I'm definitely going to go down that road. I'm going to have some discipline in my life. I like it. It makes me feel good. It gives me structure, and it's kind of crazy to be chaotic all the time. I just can't do it. It's too much. I need structure in my life, and that was something I had to learn back in my 20s. I didn't realize that I didn't have any structure. And when I have structure, I'm a lot happier. A lot happier. So that was important for me to hear too. Like, I'm totally learning a lot of stuff from this cartoon. It's pretty awesome. What was the other thing I was gonna say? I don't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. But anyways, I wrote down some things that I wanted to talk about too. So there's like different consciousness, God, like bubbles of consciousness, like they call them communities, but it's really a consciousness. There's like a spiritual community. There's a community around here, and around, apparently the place that I live in is a village, which is kind of cool. I like the word village. I like it. I feel like I'm in the country. I am. But anyway, so there's like different consciousnesses. There's negative consciousness, there's positive consciousness, there is vegan consciousness, there's carnivore consciousness, there is armed people consciousness, there's military consciousness, there is married consciousness, there is divine relationship, divine union consciousness, there is childhood consciousness, there's children innocence consciousness, there's adult consciousness, there's cat consciousness, there's turtle consciousness, which totally, this is the cool story. Okay, hold on. Let me get to the consciousness. Okay, so anyways, there's like in my family, so they're at a certain level of consciousness. Okay. So like I could go from 1 to 12 in like 5 seconds if I wanted to. I could just hang out at 12 and be like, speaking, and I'm speaking to like, I don't know how many people are way up here in the 12th dimension, but I don't think there's that many. There's probably not that many. But there's a lot more people down in 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, right? So, or beings, I should say. So in my family, they're not really aware of the things that I'm aware of. So I have to think about things differently than like a lot of people. So I'm like, this is not like this is meant to be polite, okay? So like I have a different level of consciousness, okay? And then they have a different level of consciousness. And I'm the front runner, I'm the leader of my family in this type of consciousness, this type of awareness, this type of abundance, this type of life expression. So we're ascending the earth, right? We're ascending the people. We're all getting a higher consciousness so that we can grow as a collective consciousness. And so what I was what the point of what I was trying to say is that in my family there's the consciousness that I have to work with. I have to understand that it takes a little bit to get from 3 to 4. So there's like a whole bunch of little details in there that get you from 3 to 4. And I have to like figure out how to like feed or like get the pieces in there. Somewhere I'm like, okay, maybe this way will fit, maybe that way will fit, maybe that way will fit. So I have like a level of patience. This was something I wanted to talk about, patience. I have to have a level of patience because sometimes I do get a little frustrated when the message is not received or does not want to be received, because that does happen. But like sometimes I just have to accept it, that I'm just me and I'm just going to be here. But what I'm trying to say is that the way that I communicate is to people that, like, every time I'm talking, I feel like I'm talking to my family. Like I'm talking to the people who are like my family. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, you're less than me or anything like that at all. That's not it at all. It's just that there's consciousness that is a lot higher. Hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. There's like you can go a lot higher than, you know what I mean? Like for example, it's hard for me to talk about some things on here because I don't know who's gonna watch my stuff or if they'll understand completely. But like to me, there's like no such thing as a disease. It's all mechanical. It's all like it's program. It's all program. So like if like to me it's kind of like, even my mind is just like, how can you say cancer is not real? You know cancer is real. How can you say diabetes isn't real? You know that it's real. My mind is like, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's not true. But like, if you look at it at a soul level, your soul doesn't have any diseases. And your soul doesn't have to choose to have a disease, but it can choose to have a disease if it wants to. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you can have a disease, then you do not have to have a disease. If you can age, then you do not have to age. You know what I mean? Okay, so I don't know if that's even. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that there's 7.8 or 7.9 billion people in the world, and I'm pretty sure that the level of consciousness and the people that I'm talking to are gonna need the things that I have to talk about. That's what I'm saying. Hopefully that makes sense. And patience, that's an important thing to have. So nobody is perfect. Not even my cats are perfect. They're still learning. They're only 8 months, you know. My hamster is even still learning. He's a year. And even I'm still learning about him because I never had a hamster before until my ex had one, and now I have one because I really, really loved him a lot, and I felt like, you know, I didn't get enough time with him, so I got one for myself. But anyway, so it's just like a consistent, like you have to have patience. Like my hamster is a little scaredy cat, right? So he's not a scaredy cat, but he's a scaredy hammy, you know? And so like he has to learn that my hand is safe. And when I first got him, I was freaked out because I was like going through the motions of like all the things that I went through when the last one passed away, and I was not exactly a stable person. So like we had to get stable together. We had to learn how to become stable together and trust each other. And like now I'm like put my hand in there and I just let it sit, and then I say, you want to come say hi? You want to come say hello? And then he comes over almost every time and he nibbles on my finger. It's just the cutest thing. Whenever I put my hand in there, he gives me little love bites. It's adorable. Who knew that a hammy could have so many love feelings? And like, there was this one time when he was like freaking out. And I was like, it's okay. And I just talked to him really, really sweet and really kind. And he calmed down. Like, instantly calmed down. And then he went to sleep. Yeah. So, even though he's like the size of a strawberry, like literally he's this big, who knew that they have so many emotions? They're actually really soft, cute little, emotionally loving little beings. Little tiny dudes. They're so cute. Okay. So today I want to talk about what I did today. So it takes a lot. I have herbs that help me to sleep. Not anything like, it's like from the vitamin store. There's like chamomile and other things in there. But anyways, so last night I slept with nothing. I did a really good job. And today when I woke up, I decided to meditate. And so when I meditate, I'm really visual. I see a lot of different things. And I learned in one of the videos from Magnatize Yourself, Infinity, such a cool chick. She talked about soul ties. And so ever since I learned about soul ties and she talked about it, I was like, okay, I need to do this. And so she made a video. I can link the video. It's really amazing. And she basically was like, this is how I do it. She says you pull out the soul tie and then you tie it and then you send it back to the person or you send it away with love. And that, my mind likes that. My mind likes that because I'm taking it out so it's no longer touching me and it's tied, which means it cannot form again. Unless like it's a higher, you know what I mean? Like I'm not accepting lower vibrational shit anymore. So it's gone and then you send it away with love. And that person, whoever they are, just feels the feeling of love instead of that. Because it's kind of like when you have a soul tie, it's like whether it's positive or negative, you're exchanging energy back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So when you take it out, that person feels the loss. But then when you send it back with love, they feel that. And then they're okay with it. I love it. I'm excited about it. So anyways, I was doing that today. And yeah, I feel a lot better. But anyways, so then like for some reason, like I got brought back into that room that I was in and it's all gray. And like I was thinking about there's like, let's see, how do I say this? So basically, like I got visual of that room that I used to live in. And I'm like, man, it seems like the room is like my head. You know what I mean? It's like my brain or something. It's like I'm still, like my mind is still there. And so I have been learning a lot about, I just come across random things on TikTok. Like I don't even look for anything. It just comes to me. And they talk about like how the mind is heaven. The mind is supposed to be heaven. And because you have like basically you have heaven and earth and I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. There's some really good videos. I post them in my Telegram. But anyways, so it's kind of like stuck with me. I'm like, how is the mind heaven? And then I was like, if I had better thoughts, if I had better thought processes, if I had a better, stronger, like more intelligence, like I probably would feel a lot better. So I started thinking about it. Like I've been kind of tossing it around, you know. And so then today, when I went in, when I was like, all of a sudden I got visual of that room, I was like, man, that's in my brain. That's my brain thinking like that, you know? So I was like, I don't really want that to be my mindset, you know, my structure. So then I was like, if the mind is supposed to be heaven, then why can't I create a golden room? Like, why can't I make it a golden room and like a structure of like solid, you know, because like people, you know, I'm not trying to have low vibrational thoughts sent to me. I'm trying to have high vibrational thoughts, you know, golden thoughts, you know, crystalline thoughts, you know, shape my life in a happy way, in a positive way, a peaceful way. And so I created a room and it's it's on my head. And so it's pretty awesome. I feel really good about it. And I noticed as soon as, because it was like gray and dark and murky in there, I was like, as soon as I changed it to golden white, it completely changed my energy. Completely changed my energy. It was really awesome. So I recommend doing a visual of like creating a room that is like a solid structure in your head. and then I was like, I told my little, I didn't get to do a whole lot because my cat kept interrupting because he thought it was cool to like play with my feet with the blankets. So it was kind of interrupting. So I didn't get a chance to really create a whole lot in my mind up in my structure. So right now there's just a med bed up there. I told my little lady, I was like, we should have a med bed up there. Well, it's psychological. You can do whatever you want. So I totally recommend doing that because it completely changes how you think. Yep. Completely changes it all. So let's see what else I got. If you've been feeling alone, conquer it. And if you need some love, reach out to someone and get some love. Yep. Okay. So okay. Turtle. So I want to talk about the turtle. So this is quite interesting. I'm going to read what the symbolic meaning of turtle is. So this is a good story. So I'm getting ready to go out in nature. And I'm just like, I'm kind of excited. I'm moving really fast. And I look outside. I don't even know. I was like drawn to like look out the window. And there's this like, it's kind of like, I couldn't really see it. And it didn't really look like it was moving. But then I was like, is that a turtle? It was like in the road. And I'm like, is it moving? It's moving. And it had a little head. And I was like, oh my God, that has to be a turtle. Because when I was a kid, me and my cousin, we used to catch turtles all the time. And we had this little creek in the backyard and we used to catch turtles and crayfish. Yeah. So anyway, I was like, that's a turtle. I know it. So I went out there and it was a pretty big one. I didn't take a picture. I totally spaced on, because it was in the road. And so I was trying to get it out of the road. But anyways, it was probably maybe about that big. And like, it was like trying to like scurry away from me. And I just grabbed it really quick and put it up in the grass. And then it stopped. And it was like, it like put its head in and then it pulled its head out. And then it was like looking at me. And I was like, yep, you're fine. You're okay. I'm like, keep going wherever you're going. And then he like kind of walked a little bit. And then he like stopped and he turned and he looked at me. Like, you're not going to come and get me? You're not trying to hurt me? And I was like, nope, you can go. You're fine. Because at first I was like, I should take it back over because there's like a little pond type thingy over here with some trees around it. I'm like, that's probably where it came from. But then I was like, well, it's going this way. Obviously, it's being drawn to go somewhere else. Like, I'm not in control of where it's supposed to go to. So, but then I also thought, I should take it out to like the park that I go to. And then I was like, no, if it wanted to go, it would go there. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a drive for a turtle. But anyway, I'm just saying like there's also a little creek like over where in the direction that it was going. I don't know where it was going, but it's in nature and it's just going. So I just left it out there, and I thought it was really cute that it just like sat there like you're not gonna hurt me. You're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna try to come after me. Nope. I'm just gonna let you go. I didn't want to interrupt its life path because wherever it was going, And so, anyways, so I just let it go. Didn't think another thought about it. And when I got out in nature, I brought all my stuff to go sit up at the top of the hill. And so I was walking along, and then all of a sudden, another turtle. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is awesome. So whenever I'm getting a sign, it's always, if I get two, that's a sign for me. So my guides, quote guides, like they know how I work. So they knew if they put another, I don't know if it's like that's how it works. But anyways, I got another one. And so I took a video of this one because I had my phone with me. So I decided that since the turtle was just sitting there, that I would ask, what is the message for me today? What's the message? Oh crap. And so then I heard, be still and let life lead you. What a great message. So awesome. So I decided to look up some meanings of turtle, and patience, and then independence, trust, strength, wisdom, flexibility, sensitivity, protection, aloneness, acceptance, and longevity. When turtle appears as your spirit animal, it asks that you remain true to your path. And that turtle was on my path. Turtle as a totem animal is for those who feel at home anywhere. Call in turtles as your power animal when you need to reconnect with Mother Gaia. That's exactly what I was doing. That's so cool. Turtle meaning is an epitome of patience and ancient wisdom. It teaches you to take your time and enjoy life's journey with peace and happiness. Turtles are spiritual messengers of resilience, endurance, pause, protection, unwavering determination, and longevity. Okay, spiritual meaning, orderly and systematic movement, staying strong despite struggles in life, highly patient and stable, being present in your moments, inner strength and resilience, slow down and appreciate pause, stay grounded no matter whatever happens around you. I mean, that's exactly my whole everything that I've been talking about in this whole video. I only read one of the things, and then I just decided to read the next two. That's awesome. I love it. So, anyways, getting back to today. So after I did the meditation, so I'm going to try to read this book. So far, the things that I have found in this book have been quite good. I probably bought this book 20 years ago. I was like, yep, I'm going to need this book one day, and I am so glad I got it. So I haven't been reading books in quite a long time, just a really long time. So instead of being in my phone today, because usually if I make food or if I have to like sit and consume something, I turn a video on and I listen to the video, because what else do I have to do? I just sit there with the video and listen and eat. And so, anyways, so I was like, you know what? I really need to read this book. So this is the book. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but it's pretty awesome. I like it. So a lot of times when I get a message from a book, I don't read the whole thing. I just turn to a page and I'm like, this is it. So I decided there's like some pictures in here that is like plastic. So I was kind of drawn to like the plastic middle portion of it. And so I turned to this page. Oh wait, no, it wasn't this one. It was, I probably shouldn't show this side because there's like naked people. But anyways, this is what I saw. And if you think about it, there is, here, maybe I can just do it this way. So if you notice, this person's mind is golden. And that's what I did with my mind, is golden. And this is Kundalini rising. So anyways, I was like, you know what? I need to learn about this. So I decided to like turn back. And so I was going to read from this, but maybe I will. So in this section that I decided to look at, so to me, the fire element, okay, so when I'm listening to the Avatar, watching this cartoon, the fire element is angry all the time. In this series, it's just anger. They blow shit up and whatever. So they're angry all the time. They're always mad because they can't catch the Avatar because, well, it's the Avatar. Hello. I mean, anyway. So I randomly decided to turn to these pages. And I have been angry for quite some time. And I know that the liver is associated with anger. So whatever's going on, if you're angry, it has something to do with the liver, okay? So FYI. So anyways, I just randomly decided to look at these pictures or whatever. And then I was like, maybe like I turned the page to this one, and it was the mental level. And then I was like, that's number 3. So I was like, well, where's number 1? So I went back to number 1, and it was physical level. So I was like, whatever, I'll just read this. So location is liver. Function is energy for acting on what you spiritually believe is correct for you. If it's too open, like you have meridians everywhere. So if you have a liver meridian. So if it's too open, you have unawareness of how your spiritual direction can best work with other people's spiritual direction. You're too pushy with your insights. Okay? If it's blocked, then your lily-livered may feel like a coward in terms of following through on your own spiritual understanding. So what I decided to do, because I don't know if it talks about, balancing or anything, but basically, like, it's kind of like the tune that your liver plays. What sound is it making? Is it too open or is it blocked? Is it making a sound at all? And so I decided to listen to the sound, and I said, will you make my liver have a harmonious sound and allow for the letting go of anything in it that would make it not harmonious. So I want my meridians to be harmonious. I want them to have a sound that is in harmony. So I started doing that. That was awesome. I'm so glad I did it. So the next one is emotion. It says emotional level, 4 locations. Midpoint on outer edges of thighs and upper arms, which is like basically like up here and your outer edges of your thighs. Now I've been having issues with these areas and I'm just like, this is perfect. So anyways, connection with, okay, so the midpoint of the outer edges of the thighs and the upper arms. So connection with other people, feeling the flow of energy between you and others. If it's too open, you're overly aware of other people's energy and not balancing with your own. And if it's blocked, you're shut off from others. And I have felt both. So I asked for the same thing to harmonize those. And yeah, it feels a lot better. Okay, so then the next thing that I went to was number 3, and it's mental level. So location is the bottom part of the breastbone above the xiphoid process. Let's see if there's a picture. It's the one lady with, there's yeah, I can't show that, but basically it's like it's like right like by your diaphragm. Yeah, we'll say that. So anyway, so the function is flowing appropriately. When it's functioning, it's flowing appropriately in life and relationships. When it's too open, it's over acceptance, and when it's blocked, you're too attached or rejecting. And so I balance that. Harmonized. Okay, so the next one is institutional compassionate level. Location is the heart chakra. Upper center of the chest. This chakra is the same as the 7th level of the emotional body. You probably would have to read it in order to understand what that means. This book, I mean. So the function is most important of all chakras for expressing unconditional love, compassion, and understanding. If it's too open, you're overly concerned with others, you have lack of balance between self and others. And if it's blocked, you're hard-hearted, conditional love, compassion, and understanding. So basically it's conditional love, conditional compassion, and conditional understanding. You're not unconditionally loving. Yeah. So I got that balanced and asked for harmony with that. And then there's 5, 6, and 7, and then I won't read anymore. But I just thought it was really cool to like go through these today. So the next one is will and spirit level. 2 locations, both sides of the upper nose, which is like right here. And these are power chakras. And did you notice how they put things in the air to block these things? Yeah. Anyway, these are your power chakras. Here, I know there's a picture. Well, hopefully I can cover up this lady again. You see him right there in that one? Okay. So, that's where they are. Oh, apparently they're up here. Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, I feel that now. What's going on, man? So, anyways, number 5. If they're functioning properly, they're power chakras, providing courage to combine energy of earth and heaven for practical use. If they're too open, excessive either with earth or heavenly energies, inability to bring energies back into self. If they're blocked, you feel powerless or ineffectual in the above areas. So I ask for those to be balanced. Harmonized. Okay, and then there's soul level. 2 locations is the pupils. So when they're functioning properly, you have deep expression of the I amness presence, sometimes called windows to the soul. If they're too open, they're excessive need to feel profound. And if they're blocked, afraid of one's own profoundness. The eyes may look as if there is nobody in there. May feel this when you're looking at other people. Yeah. So there's that. And I ask for those to be balanced too, harmonized. And then there's the divine level, number 7. Okay, so location is the base of the brain, medulla oblongata. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, because this is that one chakra. Let's see if I can get it in there. This one right here that I've been talking about for quite some time. So this is divine level, base of the brain, medulla oblongata. Function is it stimulates divine understanding, bliss, awareness of self as one with God, harmonizes understandings from insights on lower levels and of the divine plan in one's life. And if it's too open, you're preoccupied with higher levels at the expense of the human level. That's true. That happened to me. If it's blocked, you're preoccupied with the human level and the mundane awareness of life. So it really needs to be open enough, but not too far. That's pretty much what it is with every chakra or every meridian. You can't have them too far open, or because then they're not balanced and just creates chaos. Okay. So, now I wanted to talk about a few things. 111. I was gonna say on the calendar. Okay, so this thing happened. It's really cool, and I hope that you're still listening. Okay, so not this last Friday, but the Friday before, my mom sent me a message, and she's like, "Do you want to go to the horse fair?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I have never been to a horse fair. This is so cool." So I was like, "For sure, I want to go. Yeah, for sure." And so we ended up going, and it was really, really awesome. And I love horses. I just love horses so much. They're so beautiful. It was here I brought the book so I could. And you know what's interesting is like I couldn't even help it. I was like getting all emotional because I was making the connections and the energies with my divine counterpart, if you will, and how he is around horses and works with horses and stuff like that. And like, I was just kind of like recognizing that I feel like I could be a part of that. And I kept thinking to myself, like, there's this sweatshirt that he wears that is, I can't remember the whole thing, but I always remember it's 66666. That's the number. And right as I was feeling this stuff, I was like, man, I was looking through this book and I was like, I wonder if they would be there or not, like maybe they travel around, maybe they're in Wisconsin, and so like there's this like, I was looking in here trying to see if there was a possibility of like that particular ranch or whatever would be, participating. And so I was looking, I was like, I don't see it. Like they're just not in there. And so I was like, whatever, and I'm sitting next to my mom, I'm on the end, and this older lady is walking through and she's got on this like outworn, like worn hat. You can tell she's had it for like 5 or whatever years, and she wears it every day. And it had the 6666 on it. And I was like, no way. It literally just walked right up. It was pretty awesome. And then we went through and like I bought a bunch of stuff. I got a new sweatshirt. It's in the car because I was too afraid to bring it in because I want to make sure that there ain't no ticks on there. But I should look up the meaning of. I forgot about that. Okay. So anyway, so I bought this sweatshirt and I didn't think twice about it. It just was talking about horses, chocolate, and wine, and that's your happy place or something like that. And so it was big enough, and I needed a new sweatshirt anyway, so I decided to get it. And then when I was in the car, I was like, oh God, this tag is like scratching me. So I ripped the tag off. It was Gildan, heavy duty. I'm like, yep, there's that tag again. Yeah. But anyways, let's see what the symbolic meaning of tick is. That's not what I want. Well, it says tenacity, patience, persistence, strength, and resilience. Yeah, they're definitely persistent. Yeah. And like, okay, so like closer to the end when I was like, all right, I gotta go because they're just not going away. I was trying to clear out the energy, and then like, I started crying because I had to accept the fact that it was at a soul level that the teaching was, I'm going to teach you this, you're going to teach me that, and we're going to learn. And so like I was crying and I needed a tissue, and so I pulled out a tissue, I blew my nose, and then I looked down and there was one in the tissue. I'm like, holy crap, where'd it come from? How'd it get in there? Because my bag was like up tall, you know what I mean? Like it must have crawled in there. I'm like, so I don't know. It's in the car. I'm not doing that. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. I just really wanted to get on here and like, the whole point of this video was to talk about relationship stuff and working together to be in a relationship. But apparently it just kind of flows when your souls are in union. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I think I got everything. So anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Hopefully I'm not boring when I talk. I'm a little disappointed I don't have anything else. Yep, that's pretty much it. I'll probably think of something after I get off the phone. Anyways, until next time. Mwah! I love you.